Okay, you guys are going to get back to our normal programming here pretty soon, but right now we have just too much wind. So we're going to, I can't film when it's windy like this because things like this happen. There's my camera stand. So I'll bring you guys in the filthy garage. We're working on cleaning it up a little bit. It's a lot of work for me by myself, you guys. It's got to clean all this stuff, put stuff away. And when I get into the build, sometimes it just gets crazy. So there's times when I have down, I like right this last month or two, I've been kind of had a lot of things get in the way. Like right now I need to do car maintenance. I can't really film that. So anyway, we're going to continue on with a couple more of these type of videos, and it seems like that there's a lot of people connecting to this stuff because this is hitting home. This is hitting home with a lot of people. So, when I see stuff like hundreds of new subscribers coming because of these last few videos, hundreds, tells me that that maybe people just need to hear this stuff. Maybe they need to talk about it a little more. Maybe they need to be able to comment about stuff and feel like they're heard, So anyway, let's talk about between 2020 and 2025, the things that have changed for me and also for the car world, and things that we all have done over the last 5 years. And it's become increasingly difficult for a lot of people to build their cars, and that really frustrates me because that's what I've done my whole life. Okay, I built cars since I was 16, tons and tons of them, and when people are hindered from being able to do that, it kind of sets me back a bit. I know it's a bit windy out here, excuse the wind noise, but for me, a huge part of the pandemic, right before the pandemic, or right around the time that started, was building this truck behind me. So I spent a lot of time doing this, and two reasons that I did this, you guys. It wasn't just me. It was because I knew there was a lot of people that needed to see something like this. And of course, we continued on with this oval window project. This is a really cool project. I was super excited to be able to buy it, but it did really put me back quite a bit financially. I had to spend a lot of money on parts for this thing, and of course, I did it. This one probably for me as much as I did for you guys. So we both benefited from it. So again, guys, I've been cleaning up the garage a little bit. It doesn't look like I've done a thing, but I really have. I had to put a shelf over there for some oil. A lot of things that I've been doing, just it soak up so much time. And, I find at my age that, I get less done. I used to get, 8 hours work done, whatever, in 8 hours or whatever. Now I spend like an hour, and I feel like I spend like 8 hours doing something, and I only get like an hour's worth of work done. And that's partly because of my age. I'm getting older, and I have to realize, that's happening, and I'm just not as efficient as I used to be. But I'm still, I can still get quite a bit done. I got friends that are older than me, and really, if you're older, you can still do your car build, and you're gonna be fine. Just do it, and it's your dream, man. You gotta finish it. You gotta do it and get it done. So anyway, some stuff I was gonna talk to you guys about. When the pandemic started, I was really, really fortunately well capitalized. I really just kind of went, well, I probably got 3 years income, or 3 years that I could not do too much work and probably still be able to survive. Unlike a lot of people, that's quite a bit of money, and a lot of people didn't have that. And so I thought, well, I could utilize this opportunity to share with other people, keep other people. There's people lockdowns and stuff going on everywhere. I literally filmed a car show at my house. I filmed a car show of all my cars. I put everything out and I showed everybody everything, just because we couldn't even go to car shows. There was nothing going on for whatever the first 6 months. So, and the second thing was, as I kept building the truck, I did have a couple of jobs that came in for my regular work. And again, the thing that's happened since then is every year, we were having this problem before the pandemic, where every year increasing costs were causing a little bit lower profits every year. But I was still making quite a bit of money, so it didn't really matter. And I still had money saved and whatnot. And if I would have continued, and we would have just continued at the same rate, I'd probably be close to being retired. But instead, what happened is we got no interest on our money. We all experienced the same thing. No interest on my money for 3 years or 4 years or whatever. Now we're finally getting interest. It's a little too late because the large amount of capital that I had wasn't making me anything. It was just crazy, losing that kind of money. And so a lot of people go like, oh, why didn't you invest? Well, working capital, you guys. You're in a business, you have to have working capital. So you can't just spend that. You can't just invest it, especially when you don't know what's going to happen next. So again, I've been at a little bit of a crossroads with what's going on. Should I, how am I going to keep doing this YouTube? How do I increase revenue when I never designed it to make revenue? So those things are my challenges that I come up with. And I appreciate all of you guys who watch and all of you guys who participate in the videos, who like the comments, who go down and reply to some of the people when I don't have time to do so. It really helps. And because we're the community, okay? The Volkswagen community is us, all right? So, don't steal from other people that have VWs. There's too many, it's too small of a community. It gets figured out eventually. So, don't, treat other people good when you go to shows. Those are all things that we should all be doing. Don't cheat people, because if you get cheated, you're probably going to get it back coming to you. So these are all things that I've learned. As far as this is how I run my life anyway. I have learned to do things right. And I'm going to tell you a couple things that happened during the pandemic. During the pandemic, before the pandemic, my wife and I used to go out to eat a lot. Now we don't go out at all. Nothing. Hardly. It's like very rarely do we go out because it's so expensive. Can you guys relate to that at all? I'm not going out at all. And then during the pandemic, the thing that we used to do is we used to go to restaurants and get takeout, because we saw that there was a big deficiency in restaurants. So I thought, well, it's make an investment, because if I don't do it, the restaurants are not going to be around. Maybe I should have kept that money, but I figured it was the right thing to do to help some of those people. I remember one time, if you notice, I got my hair cut. I went to a different barber now, but because I got to save money. I got to keep the cost down. And the lady who cuts my hair now, super cool lady, and she's a little cheaper. But the other place I used to go to, the barber, during the pandemic, the doors were locked, or they weren't locked. The doors were open, the lights were on, but the shades, he had blinds, were all closed, and it said closed up. But as soon as you walked up to the door and you grabbed the door, and I'm like 3 or 4 months late and I get my hair cut, right? It looked like crap and everything else. It doesn't look the best right now because I don't have anything in it, whatever. I just don't have my hat on or anything. I'm losing my hair, been happening. It's part of getting old. So anyway, I went to the barber, and I went there and I opened the door up, and of course the door's locked. It wasn't locked, but it was open, and as soon as I started cracking the door, he goes, "Come on in, shut the door." You know, the barber. And he goes, and I go, "Ah, you know, you got to stay in business." He goes, "Dude, I got rent. I got, you know, all these people here sitting home. They can't do that. They got to feed their families." So I'm kind of like, all right, you know, I kind of knew that this was going on, but you know, I was like, okay, cool. So I went into the barber, sat down. The guy cuts my hair, right? And like I said, you got to do the right thing all the time. You got to do the right thing. I got done getting my hair cut. I handed the guy $100 bill. All right, it was like $20 to get my hair cut. And he goes, "Oh, let me get your change." I said, No, we're good. You know, doing the right thing. When you have the money, you do the right thing. And that's what I did, you know. And yeah, maybe it cost me a bit doing that. But I don't regret any of it. I think it was the right thing to do. I still have capital, but it's getting a little bit tighter where I'm not going, oh man, you know, how much longer can I go? You know, how much more can I do without, you know, and still be able to come back? And I know I can, you know, but it's a little in that place where you're kind of like, I know a lot of you guys are experiencing this. You're looking at, you know, things, you go to the store and something that was $10, you go in and now it's like, what? You know, how much is it? $20, VW parts. You know, I used to know, you know, I was going to run around with the 68 Beetle and kind of walk around with you guys and go, okay, we can get this kind of rubber. That's about this much money. I can get these rubbers for the stuff. You know, how much is it going to cost me? Kind of go over like a little bit of a budget so we can figure out what are we going to be in that Beetle and is it going to be worth it? You know, yeah, it's a tough one. You know, when you get the car for free and you go, wow, I wonder if I can even do this. That's messed up. Okay, that's a big problem. You know, and I hope that over the next year, I really do hope, and a lot of people have, I think a lot of people have too much faith in Donald Trump being the president, and I also think that people don't have enough faith, both. So there's people out there that are like, oh, you shouldn't have voted for him because he's, you know, whatever. Okay, and there's guys that are like, oh no, in 2 months after it's gonna be golden. Don't think either one of those things are gonna happen. You can't correct double-digit inflation. I don't know, okay, this is all my opinion in this video, because if I say something that isn't true or whatever, according to the statistics and all that other garbage, they'll probably just take it down or whatever, okay? Or demonetize all my video, whatever. There's stuff like that going on. It's crazy. So it's all my opinion. I might be completely wrong, okay? Who knows? But this is just how I feel. So anyway, that's what we're talking about. So again, you guys, a lot of the reasons we made these videos that were going on then were for entertainment for people at home. And I'm still going to continue doing my YouTube channel the same as I have. But I have to change some stuff. I have to add some content in. And maybe tell me if you think it's all right, if you guys like it. Maybe types of videos like this are what we'll fill in with. And of course, I'm going to change it up a little bit. We're going to have cars in it. Some of the other ideas I have are that I'm going to get in the car and drive and I'm going to go do stuff. Part of me is I have not been driving my cars enough. I feel like, you know what, I don't get a chance to drive them because I'm always working on a project, filming it, and getting something ready when I would like to just drive the car and maybe bring you guys along. I figured out better ways to edit things. I figured out ways to add content to that to make it a little more interesting. So I'm planning on doing some of that stuff. And I hope that those videos do well. And the other thing that I'm trying to do in the future here is a couple of different things. One is I'll probably have, I'm not sure which channel I'm going to put them on, but things that have done really well for me when I do car reviews. For some reason, used cars, new cars, man, they do really well, and they constantly get views, you know, where a lot of my show videos and stuff like that I do, a lot of my build videos, I have them up for two different things. One is I have them up for a couple different things. Let me try and figure out how to explain this. Some of them are set up for like Google search, quarter panel repair or whatever for a Beetle. I'm just trying to think of some idea, I don't know. Or heater channels, all right? Some of them are set up so that when you search for that, you can find it on Google, and that brings people to YouTube. YouTube has its own thing. Like if you go on YouTube and you look up quarter panel, it's going to suggest a video. It might not be the best one. It might be one that shows, you know, whatever. It's going to show the best video quality. All right. So YouTube has that thing. And so what I've had to do is kind of reevaluate how that I'm filming stuff and how that I'm putting things up. Because, you know, for instance, some of my friends on YouTube are 5150 MXVW. Guy's a super good guy, Jason, over in Connecticut. Super good guy, super amazing. Does some great fine videos. And my other friend, who I talk to all the time, is CT from CT. It used to be CTMOOG. So if you look up CTMOOG, you can find his channel. Here we are, December, probably the worst month of the year, right? And CT releases like a collaboration video of old footage of him putting together a pan, you know, and doing he called it a full chassis build. CT is very talented, and I'm just going to tell you guys this, and this is a part where I'm lacking, okay, is I'm not that good at seeing it through the camera, okay? He's amazing at seeing it through the camera. He's amazing at setting the camera up to get you the shot that you need to see. So yeah, his videos go way more viral than mine. And so like he releases this video, and these are things that we've been talking about in the last couple of years. Like last year, in the beginning of the year, I said to him, man, I'm gonna stack video for these engine builds, and I'm gonna put it into one video, and I'm gonna put it up. And he goes, well, tell me how it works out. So I tell him a couple months later, I go, man, you know, it's working out really good. You know, I got them all 3 videos all in one so that people can find, they look for the engine build, even though it's 2 hours long, they can search their way through it and find all the parts of it that they want to look at. And it really has helped a lot of people build engines. I've got people telling me, man, dude, I built my own engine. Super exciting. That was the whole reason for it. And then but it also did well. So then he does a collab video, the same thing, okay, like a 40 horse or something, I don't know. His hits like 800,000 views or 1 million or something crazy, right? Filming footage was a little better than mine. He's got a better setting. He sees it with the lighting. He nails it, you know, in better ways that I don't. So his videos do better. The algorithm sees it. It's all algorithmically driven for entertainment. And this is the thing that's difficult for me. And this is what I'm running into the problem, you know, why my channel is just to 80,000 subscribers, you know, when it should be probably at like 200 or 300. And it's because I haven't been catering to the algorithm. I've been catering to what I think is best for people. So it's kind of hard. So I have to adjust that this year. So up until this point, like I said, during the pandemic and everything else, wasn't really focused on growth. I wasn't really focused on my income. I wasn't really focused on stuff that I was just focused on what was good for people that are watching to learn. And so now I have to do a little bit of both. This year we're going to do a little bit of, we're going to have some videos like this. Tell me what you guys, to share your thoughts on. Tell me what you guys, maybe, I won't do as many of them maybe. But then again, there's like Scotty Kilmer. He just does stuff like this every day, and he's a millionaire. I don't really care if I'm a millionaire, okay? I don't really care. I guess I am really, right now I am a millionaire, okay? But that's nothing. You need to be like 10 or 15 million or more, because your house is worth so much, cars you have are worth so much, whatever. But I'm not rich, okay? So anyway, we'll figure this out. So like I said, up until this point, the last 5 years, I've just seen so much change. It's been frustrating. It's been really frustrating because I'm a super big advocate for middle class and the poor. And a lot of people think that I'm not. They completely don't understand me. And that's fine. Not everybody's going to get it. But, and I'm not a Democrat. Okay. I'm not like, no, I don't fall. I'm not right-wing Republican either. So I'm kind of in the middle, a little bit to the right. But, because I feel like that they say, oh, we're out to help the middle class. So they don't. They do the opposite of that. Their actions do not speak what they say at all. The stuff that they actually do actually hurts the middle class. When you raise minimum wage, it hurts the middle class. Because the middle class didn't get a pay raise, but the poor did. And who wins? The government, every time. Because they get all that payroll tax money. So those are all things that, things that bug me that they say, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not. All the other social issues, I agree with a lot of the left, but but there's a lot of them that I don't. So anyway, that's kind of where I stand on that. So coming up, I don't know what we're going to build next. I do have the 68 Beetle. I have some anxiety about spending money on it because I've only got so much. And, I'm going to have to probably do like swap meet parts for a lot of it. And some of this will help you guys because that's where a lot of you guys are at that have really next to no money is to get to those swap meets, especially the ones that are free. And do that. And some of the guys are commenting, I don't go to any of the big shows. And some of the guys don't go to the big shows because it costs $25 or, like Pomona swap meet now is $30 to get in. $30 just to get in the door. Man, it's becoming less and less affordable for a lot of people. And it's hard, I still want to go to that as much as I can because I can bring you guys with me. I can, give you guys the experience of being there even though you can't afford to go. So, but I'll tell you, those videos, they go up so far, they just go up like to a certain point, they taper off. Sometimes they just go dead. They don't get watch after a certain amount. The videos that do the best for me are full build videos. When I put up a video of doing something from start to finish. So I've done a re-edit already. Hopefully it's going to get uploaded. I'm doing a full build chassis video. I'm taking all the footage from 3 different videos and I'm putting it into one big video. And so I have to do that stuff because that stuff does really well. Like my buddy CT, he just released his full build chassis. It went to 1.8 million views in 2 weeks. He's awesome though. He's a good guy. He gets into a metalwork thing. He's like, hey man, he calls me up, hey man, how do I put this panel on? Oh, just do it on there and just do this and that, whatever, and you can do it. And then he still doesn't quite do it the way that I was explaining it to him. And I'm watching the video going, no, but he gets it done and he does it. Some of the stuff he's done just, turned out better than mine. He blows me away. The guy's so, and he's totally, it's totally out of his element to do these car builds, and he's more of a musician than he is like a car guy, so, and I was a musician too. So I had 20 years of playing the trumpet, 20 plus years I did that. And I just can't put time into that. I wish I could, but I just can't. So there's things that I wish I could do. Like I wish I could go to Glamis. I wish I could go to sand dunes. By the time I get to the point where I might be able to go again, I'm going to be way too old. So I'm already pushing it right now, and I just realized that, I can't, I have to let go of some things, and it's been tough the last few months, and, getting older, it sucks, and the pandemic took away 5 years, today. Now we're at 5 years, almost 5 years in March is what it'd be since the pandemic started. Back when we first got our lockdown was March of 2020. A month from right now, I was in Iowa 5 years ago. And that was probably, trying to think, that was probably one of the best paychecks I've had, and it wasn't my biggest at all. And that was 5 years ago. All the stuff I've done since then has been, pieces here or there, part programs, I'm grateful for the stuff that I've gotten from my regular work, but it's just not done. It's done 10% of what I normally do. 10%. My total income, including YouTube, is about 10% of what I used to make. So lifestyle changes, we've all had them, but there's only so far you can cut. I've gone from watching, not having to watch money at all, and still I was very, very careful. I never bought new cars. I've never owned a new car ever. Okay, never. Only thing I've ever bought new was my toy hauler trailer. That's it. Because it made sense. It was cheaper to buy a new one than it was to buy a used one at the time. But everything else I've ever owned, I've always bought used, 4 or 5 years old. Some things I bought, 10 years old. And I've always had older cars. I've been able to maintain them. So that's one of the reasons that, I did that. But it gets exhausting. I wish I could just go buy a brand new car and not have to do nothing to it for 5 years or change the oil or whatever. Just change the oil and keep going. But even the new ones, I'm not thrilled about them. There's a lot of them that I'm not super thrilled about. There's the electronics in them go bad. The freaking, Uncle Tony Garage was making a video. And he says, yeah, the backup camera went out on this car and it totally made the car not drivable. It's crazy. So, yeah, but he does a lot of these type of videos, okay, where he talks in front of the camera, tells you about different things going on. And I don't really want to go all that direction either. Maybe these videos are something everybody needs to see right now, but I still want to do what we initially started with, which is teach people simpler ways to do stuff, do car builds, do metal work, do body work, real stuff, film some shows, because the reason I like to film the shows is because it's not hard. It's an easy thing for me to do. I can film a show, walk around. The other thing it does is it helps a lot of the other people that are out there that can't go to shows. So you guys are in areas where there's no car shows where you're at. It might be in another part of the world. You might be in another part of the United States where there's no Volkswagen shows. And it kind of gives you that chance to be part of one. Or maybe if you're from the area and you couldn't make it to that one, or you just didn't have the $25 or whatever it is to get in. I mean, they're getting kind of pricey. Okay. If you didn't have that kind of money to get in, and guys like Volkstroke, he's, you know, kind of frustrated with that. He's like, man, dude, I'm not going to them. I'm doing smaller shows, the free ones, guys that are doing small ones. I might do some of those. Just trying to keep the content similar to what we have, but I'm going to try and spin it a little bit to get those high view videos like that. I don't know if it'll work, but with your help, at least maybe we can make it happen. You know, maybe we can. Maybe, you know, with you guys liking the videos, with you guys sharing them different places, all that stuff, maybe it'll help. You know, of course it will. I mean, but maybe it'll work. All right. So anyway, I just decided to make a video on this stuff from 2025 till now. How much stuff has changed. It is just, I'm blown away every day. And I'm frustrated at the same time. And I think you guys are there too. Comment below, let me know what you think, and let me know how you guys are getting through. And you know, I've been reading a lot of those comments. My wife read all of them in the last couple videos, and she was super stoked about it. And she was like, wow. And, you know, the comments are helping. All right, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe.